Today's new generation of leaders are seizing the opportunities from digital transformation. They recognize that customers and citizens increasingly want to interact with organizations digitally in a secure and rapid manner. Unfortunately, most digital transformation initiatives fail to deliver the value that is expected. When it comes to digital transformation, technology is only part of the answer. Realizing the potential of digital requires transformation across 3 areas: the organization, the business model, and technology. To survive and succeed in an age of disruption, organizations need to build a workforce that is curious and collaborative, with leadership that drives innovation and overcomes resistance to change. The organization must put customers first while embracing the right mindset and structure. For organizations to innovate their business model, they need to think from the outside in. Through process transformation, organizations must become lean and agile, capable of responding quickly to changing customer and market demand. By adopting a frugal mindset and approach, they can simplify their processes and operate in real time across the organization. Digital technology is providing the opportunity for organizations to reduce the costs of running their business and free up funds to drive growth and change for the future. A digitalized business model requires some form of technology investment. There are 4 categories of technology investment. Cognitive technologies include artificial intelligence, AI, and big data analytics, BDA. IoT or connected devices refers to a network of networks, aggregating and linking uniquely identifiable endpoints or things that communicate autonomously using Internet Protocol connectivity. Robotics encompasses the design, construction, implementation and operations of robots. Mobile or social media include mobility solutions and social technologies. From the prescribed theory, we find that there are 5 enablers that maximize the value from digital investment. These factors are enhanced by 4 principles for execution. In order to bridge the gap to operational excellence, one should always focus on continuous improvement and sustainability. Let's look at some companies who had to rethink their entire strategy, who now displays operational excellence.
Don't forget Taco Tuesday's coming next week!
Everything is awesome in 3, 2, 1.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Everything is awesome when we're living our dream.
In 2004, the Lego Group was close to insolvency. It had lost money 4 out of the 7 years starting in 1998 to 2004. Sales declined 40% in 2004 when its margin stood at negative 30%. Lego Group executives estimated that the company was destroying €250,000 in value every day. The company was facing massive external challenges, mostly in the digital space that was fighting for consumers' time and money. Companies such as Apple, Facebook, and Google were in the market making competition exceptionally fierce. In 2004, the company embarked on a back-to-basics strategy called Shared Vision. Its aim was to rebuild the Lego brand identity and optimize its internal operations. It embarked on a massive operational excellence drive, focusing on stabilization, cost optimization, and organizational development. Some of the major outcomes of the program include: to drive the operational excellence process, the company formed cross-functional process improvement teams, reduced the number of SKUs from over 14,000 to under 4,000, reduced its supplier base, mainly supplying high-cost, low-volume products, from over 11,000 to less, reduced its number of distribution centers from 5 to 1, implemented a supply chain management system with its major customers to more accurately predict demand for peak December period, inventory, and product customization, implemented a company-wide enterprise resource program which fundamentally changed its daily operations, finance, and sales process. The result? Stabilization of the business financially by 2008. Even though operational excellence had stabilized the company's finances, they realized their product could not compete in an increasingly digital world. They needed to transform their business digitally to stay relevant to a consumer whose needs were rapidly changing. Since 2009, a digital strategy was implemented which had 3 major themes. Firstly, digitalization around its enterprise platforms. Secondly, digitalization of marketing. And finally, digitalization around its products. In this phase, the company focused on developing its internal digital capabilities. Some of the key actions include using its enterprise resource program to support operational excellence, including knowledge management and increasing collaboration, as well as Lego recruited IT professionals specifically to help in flexibility needed for digitalization. Thirdly, Lego restructured its IT organogram with the aim of breaking down silo thinking and making IT closer to operations. And finally, it initiated a massive smart manufacturing drive within the operations to improve its efficiencies. These initiatives are just a few examples which were done with the aim of streamlining the speed and accuracy of decision making within the organization. It digitalized its marketing efforts by focusing on connecting with its fans in multiple ways, such as its physical channels, i.e. retail stores, Lego stores, and Legoland Park, and Discovery Centers. Social media such as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. YouTube alone allows it to connect to 30 million users per month. Lego customizes content by audience, creating differentiated interactions and campaigns for each platform. Lego has produced movies that enhance brand affinity and increase sales of movie-related Lego sets. Its licensing business is considered as one of the key contributors to its profitability and continuous growth. Realizing its ERP system would be inadequate for quick, seamless interactions with customers that a digital business model required, the company developed an online engagement platform for facilitating innovation and customer intimacy. Using micro-marketing data from its various digital channels, the company uses big data to provide insight into the path to purchase of its digital customers. This results in the provision of advanced services and unique customer experience, which increase customer loyalty. Lego had plenty of innovation centered on digitizing its products, with some of its key initiatives including Lego Ideas. This uses the principle of crowdsourcing. It allowed fans to submit their ideas for new products. If the idea garners 10,000 votes, it is reviewed by Lego for possible production. If successful, the creator received 1% royalty fee on worldwide sales. Lego Boost, which allows children to use simple coding to bring their creations to life. Augmented reality product catalogs which come to life when using smartphones. Lego Fusion, which allows users to import their creations into an app. Lego Dimensions, which created video games combined with Lego minifigures on PlayStation, Xbox, and Wii. Lego Life, a sharing platform that for young builders to exchange ideas. My Lego Network, which mixed gaming and social networking where children played games and shared their Lego creations online. All these initiatives and many more were aimed at digitizing its iconic brick within the mind of its customers. Lego was successful in transforming its operational excellence into digital operational excellence. It followed a strategy that focused on the customer, operations, technology, and most importantly, the people. These are critical areas for any business to get it right if it hopes to become a digital champion.
Over the last 10 years, there has been a significant increase in the demand for bandwidth needed for services such as internet and high-definition TV. In order to meet this increased demand, the major telecom operators have all been investigating and evaluating business models of how best to deliver fiber-to-the-home networks to the end consumer. Currently, one of the biggest limiting factors in the fiber-to-the-home rollout is the deployment cost, which relates to the significant amount of civil works that are required to install fiber cables. Previous strategies in respect of the rollout of fiber-to-the-home networks are primarily focused on minimizing the cost of rollouts and more specifically minimizing fixed investment costs whilst trying to maximize network coverage to the end consumer. In 2010, Bosché, Meersman and Van Haverbeke found that the telecoms industry has successfully managed to adapt and improve their business model by digitizing their operating model in respect of the fiber-to-the-home deployment strategies. They found that firms could identify more optimal and profitable areas to deploy fiber-to-the-home networks by using technologies such as geographic information system databases as well as geomarketing databases. As an example, geographic information system databases can help to identify types and density of housing in a specific area, whereas geomarketing databases divide individual homes into diverse categories such as young families with children and elderly families living on their own. Because the young family category would naturally be more technology savvy, they found that as soon as the fiber-to-the-home networks were made available, they would receive a high uptake and thus maximizing returns for telecom firms. Essentially, they found that an increase in revenue of more than 10% can be achieved for the same initial investment should firms make use of GIS-based network designs and geo-marketing revenue projections.
What do most banks know about simplicity? About what it means to live better? Do you really need all those accounts that cost you more just because you earn more? And the hoops you have to jump through for the free rewards that you hardly ever use. Aren't you just tired of it? What if I told you there's a simpler way? A bank that takes all the complexity of banking and turns it on its head. Capitec is doing just that, using technology to cut the cost of banking and put the value back in your pocket with Live Better benefits that you can get immediately, making you feel valued when you need it most. Here's a bank that invests in innovative solutions to simplify your life so that you can live better. Simplify banking. Live better.
The South African banking sector has been dominated by only a few big players, namely Standard Bank, Absa, Nedbank and FNB. These banks typically made use of very similar operating models and have captured the majority of the market share in South Africa's banking sector. Throughout the 1990s, the South African banking sector had not evolved much, and the big four banks continued to operate without evolving their operating models to take into consideration changing consumer needs. These banks were typically focused on safety precautions such as reinforced bulletproof glass and access control, as opposed to making clients feel welcome. Their operating models were focused around legacy systems that were outdated and often required excessive and complex paperwork and procedures for both staff and customers. Capitec is considered to be South Africa's fastest growing bank and has entrenched itself in the South African banking sector by offering innovative solutions addressing fundamental issues within the traditional banking sector. One of the main driving forces behind Capitec's low-cost offering has been their investment in technology. This has allowed them to improve on the affordability and accessibility of their product offerings to clients. Capitec's significant investment in technology has allowed them to implement paperless systems, meaning they no longer have to incur expenses associated with running back-office administrative functions. All of their clients' information is now kept online and their full profile can be accessed by scanning their fingerprint. Increased investment in technology has also increased staff productivity, which has allowed Capitec to reduce staffing requirements in their actual branches. This in turn allowed them to operate from branches typically half the size than that of traditional bank branches offered by their competitors. Real-time mobile banking is another key activity that Capitec has focused on. Essentially, clients can now have access to a wide range of services, from opening bank accounts to issuing cards, all from their workplace. Safe internet banking is of utmost importance, and Capitec have implemented the unique token system to prevent clients from being hacked. Capitec has now managed to capture a significant proportion of the market share of customers within the lower to middle income sector by digitizing their operating model. Furthermore, they have now built a solid foundation and have been targeting the higher LSM customers, which will allow them to gain further market share within the South African banking sector. The video and DVD rental company Blockbuster would be a prime example of a company that failed to digitize their operating model. Essentially, their traditional operating model was based on using physical store locations to allow customers to rent videos and DVDs for a certain period of time. A large part of their revenue was made up by charging customers a late fee penalty for not returning their products on time. We will now take a look at a video explaining how Netflix digitized their operating model.
In April 2017, Netflix hit a milestone when it reached 100 million subscribers. That's more than any over-the-top streaming network, including Amazon Prime and Hulu. Netflix is currently available in over 190 countries. Half the subscribers are in the US, where roughly 50 million people have joined across the 50 states. Founded in 1997 by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph in Scotts Valley, California, Netflix began as a mail-order DVD service. Instead of going to a local store like Blockbuster, Netflix delivered entertainment right to your door. 10 years later, after delivering its billionth DVD, Netflix expanded into internet video on demand. What they offered was a revolutionary new way of watching TV. Instead of airing episodes weekly, viewers could consume an entire season in one go, what is now known as binge watching. Thanks to this new model, some shows that struggle to attract an audience week in, week out managed to avoid cancellation. The most famous example is Breaking Bad. Creator Vince Gilligan once said,
"I think Netflix kept us on air."
Improvements in streaming technology and a rise in the use of handheld devices helped Netflix's growth, as did the platform's vast library of films and TV shows. But there was one problem: none of the content belonged to Netflix. That meant the company wasn't just paying the original network for each show, but they also had no guarantee they'd be able to keep the rights forever. Their solution? To go from streaming TV to creating it. Netflix's first original show, House of Cards, was launched in February 2013 and made history later that year by becoming the first online-only television series to receive an Emmy nomination. With Kevin Spacey starring and David Fincher directing, it also showed that Netflix could attract top Hollywood talent to work on a web TV series. By 2016, Netflix grew to producing around 126 original programs a year, from children's cartoons to feature-length documentaries. So far, they've won 147 awards, including 1 Oscar, 55 Emmys, and 2 Golden Globes. Netflix are no longer the only players in the game. Other on-demand services have developed original programming, while networks like HBO have created their own online streaming services. So how will they continue to stand out from the crowd? The company plans to more than double original programming by the end of 2017, expanding native language and unscripted content. Beyond that, they could even one day venture into live TV, covering everything from concerts to sports events. Whatever the future holds, one thing is certain: Netflix has changed the way we watch TV forever.
Eventually, Blockbuster went bankrupt in 2010, and today, Netflix market value is approximately $180 billion. This again proves the value of digital transformation and ensuring operational excellence therein.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you for listening.